So coming into the fall and not really being able to play much of the spring, how did you feel going in practice today?
I feel like anybody probably would. I'm just a little bit rusty, not playing since January 9th. It's been a long process. Just happy to be back, and this camp, so it's time to get better and make improvements, not only as a team but also individually.
What's your whole mindset this fall, stepping in with Jordan into those tackle positions after Dex and Christian are gone?
We had great leaders in them, those two. And we know what it looks like to be great. So we kind of follow football to also be ourselves. We don't want to try to be somebody else at the same time. So I feel like it's just doing our own thing and improving and try to look at those guys and what they did good and then add to our own little style.
Nyles, when is the last time you think you were 290 or that weight?
Maybe sophomore year of high school. I kind of felt like over the break, when I was not being able to run and everything after surgery, I felt like I was kind of heavy. So I felt like there's something I need to change my body a little bit, lose weight. And it's a little adjustment. I feel like I'm lighter and feel quicker, but also I need to make sure I keep my strength at the same time.
So you can play the season at 290?
That's the goal overall, and I feel like I need to gain a little weight to help do my strength. I feel like I could do that also.
Now, one of the things that Coach stressed earlier was having the chemistry of this team come together, and arguably your spot there's no more turnover from what last year's group looked like. What do you feel like would be the keys to building that bond early on with the new roster look at that spot?
Also, I just feel like communication outside of football, like sometimes when our own, outside of this at dinner, lunch, we sit together, don't just talk about football all the time, get to know your teammates, especially the freshmen, because a lot of them just got here in the summer. Get to know them as people, not just football players, because at the same time, there's going to be friends for years down the road that we'll have, and hopefully when we go for a run at another national championship, we can talk about that down the road.
What will be some of the signs that you look for to be like, all right, we're early on in camp, from what you've seen as a leader of the group now, what would things be you're on the lookout for?
I feel like overall, like we'll just be able to call things out. Like maybe they'll know what I'm doing, I'll know what they're doing. Or if I could just read certain things about them, like they're having a rough day, I just know their body language and certain things like that, and be able to pick them up and get their energy up.
What did Christian and Dex maybe teach you and Jordan, or are you taking from their experience to kind of step into those leadership roles?
I just feel like a lot of extra work, being never having a bad day, and also if you're having a bad day, just be able to bounce back from it the next practice and just be positive. If you're having a bad day, don't take it on your teammates and be negative and say certain things. Just pick them up also and try to pick yourself up.
What do you think? I know it's the other side of the ball, but what do you think of, when you hear that Trevor and Travis are both being talked up for as Heisman Trophy guys, as guys who could be the face of college football? Is that enjoyable to you guys? Do you make fun of them for it, or?
I feel like it's an honor towards those guys because they are great players, but at the same time, I don't think they think very much of it because they're also focused on improving. Even though they have all this talk, they still feel like they can improve in certain areas to make themselves even better.
That's probably what you guys dealt with last year when people wanted to talk about Cleveland and Dexter and Christian. You know how to handle high-profile, people on the outside talking about your guys as high-profile guys.
Yes, after watching them, they took it very well. They did the magazine covers, but at the same time, they knew they still had to work. They don't just give you a national championship trophy. They don't give you an ACC championship trophy. They knew how to work, push themselves.
What were you able to learn in the spring, kind of having to stay back on the sideline? Was it different for you?
It just helped me as a leadership role and make sure I was able to coach, because if you could coach it, that makes you better as a player. When you get on the field, you know what you're doing. So you just add the technique and everything else to it. And I feel like that helped me as a leader, being able to help the guys, letting them know that I know what's going on, even though I'm not practicing. So even when they're not in on a play, they're able to pay attention.
What did you see from those young guys over the summer and just your time with them?
I feel like a lot of maturity. I know when they first got here, they looked like a deer in the headlights a lot. But as time went on, they started to pick up technique and everything like that. And in the summer, I saw a big growth in jumping, like strength-wise, conditioning. I feel like some of the guys jumped up when it was a tough day. They picked each other up. They just stayed on top of it. I didn't really have to push them. They could push themselves also.
Does it help you guys kind of build chemistry if you're in the film room together? You and Jordan are dragging them places?
Yeah, pretty much. Like we try to taking the film, and then sometimes we like to joke. We don't keep it serious because we don't want them to think we're just like hard on them all the time. We want to have a little bit of fun because this is camp, and sometimes some days it's gonna be hard. We just want to let them know just to keep pushing and have fun.
What are those hard days like? Like what's that grind like when you get in the middle? Now it's new, it's fun, it's early. You're excited to get back on the field, but what's it going to be like when it really gets difficult in the next 26 days or so?
Just knowing that we're all going for the same goal, knowing to push yourself. Coaches are giving us these hard days. just to like test us and push us mentally, because he knows that's what he did the years before, and we had good results with that. So he just knows the formula, and we just keep staying to it.
And you've seen the formula obviously works, right? Like,
Yeah.
is that you're telling the new guys, like, trust it, trust it, trust it?
Yeah, especially like during the summer, we had conditioning tests. Some guys mentally, but I'll say the young guys really push themselves pretty well, even though they haven't been through camp. But at the same time, that's pretty much like a pre-season camp.
Does it help push you guys from the inside, knowing that some people may see this unit as a question mark?
It does motivate us, because at the same time, it's like we know those guys were great players and everything, but they also taught us too. It's not like they played on their own. They were in camp by themselves and watching film by themselves. They also left a lot of key stuff with us, and we still talk to those guys. These guys still talk to us. They don't act like they don't know us anymore. They just help us and make sure we motivated.
Is that part of the Clemson culture? They taught you. You're taking these newer guys under your wing.
Yes, because I feel like that's how I was. Because when I got here, I had Carlos, and different people like that. Ben Bower, those guys. When I got here, they look crazy to me. But as I see myself getting older and being here longer, I feel like I'm kind of turning into them in my own kind of way.
Nyles, what is the main difference right now for us? I guess if we don't get to see practice between Rook and Netsanosa, kind of in their development, strengths and weaknesses.
I feel like they're both great players with great get-off, hands-wise. And I feel like they're also like patient. They know it's not going to all come at once. They're just taking their time. They're getting better each and every day, technique-wise, and they're actually very good listeners.
And Tyler Davis?
Oh yeah, Tyler. We made fun of him when he first got. We called him Baby Dex, but it's like a little joke. Cause I just kind of what we do, because he does look like him if you actually look at him. But he's very intensive, like in film and everything like that, and technique. He always wants to learn more, and we just told him, take your time. You're gonna be here. This your first year. You still got more time to learn and pick up on things.
What are you trying to improve on just between now and the first game?
Mostly, I just feel like getting into a new role as a person, being like older guy, been here for 4 years. I played behind great players, and I learned a lot from them. Also, and then on the field, I just feel like I just need to improve hands, certain things, strength like that. Just make myself better. I feel like there's always somewhere to get better each and every day.
When you were out there today, could you tell, like, oh wow, I haven't played football in forever, or did
I felt it. I felt a little bit. It's been a long time, since January 9th. It's been a while, and I feel it. But at the same time, my coach was saying, you're knocking the rust off, because it's been a while since I actually had to put hands on people and everything like that. And I feel like I'm just getting better each and every day.